The 2022 D1 Women's Volleyball postseason is here. The bracket has been unveiled, and this one, as expected, is going to be a good one. The new seeding system promised some more parity, and I think we have just that. I filled out my bracket and made my predictions. I want to fill out 10 of these, but here is where I landed. Let's start with the top left quadrant of the bracket, where we have the #1 overall seed in Texas. Let me tell you, I think this portion is absolutely loaded. I mean, Texas, Ohio State, Georgia Tech, USC, Marquette, and Minnesota. OSU at its best could have been a top 4 overall seed until it ended the season on a 4-game losing streak. They haven't been at their prime lately, but we obviously know what they're capable of. Minnesota is on a tear right now, ended the season with 2 wins over OSU and Nebraska. But the Huskers still got the edge for a higher 2 seed, so like I said, a loaded quadrant. I have Georgia upsetting Towson in the first round, Georgia Tech getting by Marquette, and OSU taking the win over a strong USC team led by Skylar Fields, although watch out for a great matchup there. Then you get to Minnesota, Ohio State. Your guess is as good as mine here. It's really hard not to go with the Gophers. This team obviously has a lot of confidence right now, hot at the right time, playing quick and efficient offense. They just beat Ohio State in 4 to end the season. Picking OSU would mean they got out of whatever rut they've been in lately. They did sweep Minnesota earlier this year when they looked like a different team. I think most will go with Minnesota here, rightfully so. I wouldn't be surprised if they swept and OSU was knocked out in the quarterfinals yet again. But I'm going bold. I'm picking OSU. I have Texas winning this regional though and moving on to the semifinals. Bottom left, you have Stanford, San Diego, Kentucky, and Creighton as your hosts. I picked a first round upset here with LSU over Hawaii. Then in the second round, I have Houston knocking off Creighton. Ultimately, we get a great San Diego versus Stanford matchup in the regional final. The Toreros will have their chance to prove the committee wrong for giving Stanford the edge for a #1 seed based on strength of schedule right in this matchup. In my bracket, I'm going with Stanford. I just think this team has serious talent, an elite setter, and the potential to win a title. Plus, I do believe the Cardinal have one of the best roads to Omaha. Moving on to the top right portion of the bracket, you have defending champ Wisconsin, Pitt, Penn State, Florida, and UCF. Washington could be a good second round matchup for the Badgers, but with how Wisconsin has been playing, I think they go through unscathed. Wisconsin, Penn State, and Florida Pitt are 2 incredible matchups. The Badgers and Nittany Lions would be playing for the 3rd time this season. The last one, Wisconsin barely got the win in 5. There is potential for upset here, but I'm sticking with the Badgers. For Florida versus Pitt, let's go with the Gators. I wanted to go for another upset here since 1 and 2 seeds all around in the regional finals are unlikely, and I think the Gators are capable. Taking down Pitt will not be easy, but Florida has beaten some top-tier teams this season. Finally, in the bottom right portion of the bracket, boy, did I struggle with this one. You have your #1 seed Louisville, Nebraska, Oregon, Baylor, and Rice. You could take a look at my first and second round picks here, but what I really want to highlight is the potential for Nebraska versus Louisville in the regional final. Now, talk about a matchup you don't get to see typically between 2 powerhouse programs. Danny Busboom Kelly has brought Louisville to so much success and would be facing her alma mater in Nebraska. Please don't make me choose this matchup. My gut told me to instantly pick Louisville. I watched them play in person, and I think they can win a championship. Claire Chaussee is a special player, and everyone on the court is just incredible. Over 2 months ago, my semifinal picks were Texas, Louisville, Stanford, and Wisconsin. Little did I know they would be the top 4 seeds. But we typically see a big upset in the tournament. A chalk Final Four is few and far between. Nebraska would get the chance to play for the championship right next to home in Omaha, and we've seen them take down great teams. Think back to Texas last season. I think this match could go either way, and I wouldn't be surprised to see Louisville win it in 3. But I had to pick eventually, so let's go with Nebraska. That makes for a great semifinal, and ultimately I have Texas and Wisconsin advancing to the title match. Texas to me is the Wisconsin of last season. They have been knocking on the door for a title for years now. Logan Eggleston feels just like 2021's Dana Rettke. She came back for a championship when she's almost accomplished everything else. Is it the year Eggleston and team gets it done? They have it all. The depth is unmatched, and I think the motivation will be higher than ever. Let's go with the Longhorns. There is my entire bracket. Hope you enjoyed it. Let me see all of your brackets filled out as we get ready for an incredible 2022 D1 Women's Volleyball Tournament.